Happy Friday, beer runners, and welcome to a long-awaited edition of the iRunOnBeer Friday 5. Sorry that I have been gone for so long. I know I say this every time that I'm going to be back with more videos more frequently, but truth be told, this whole work from home thing just has my scheduling all off. I've just been focused on working, running, resting, spending time with my wife, and just have not done a Friday 5 in quite some time. So I apologize, but that brings me to the theme of this week's Friday 5, and what I wanted to focus on for today's video is I know a lot of us, our races have been canceled. We're kind of lost, not sure what to train for as runners. Our scheduling's all off. We don't have the same routines that we used to have. And so a lot of us are just looking for things to motivate us, things to add some structure to our life. We live such structured lives as runners with our training plans, race training plans, training seasons, training blocks, etc. Everything is usually so scheduled and so predetermined, and all of that has just gone out the window with this whole coronavirus quarantine thing. So just wanted to check in with everyone, see how everyone's doing, and talk over some ideas and things that I've been working on myself that have helped motivate me, help bring some structure to my life. So what I wanted to talk about for this week's Friday 5 is 5 things that you can be doing or adding to your training to just bring some structure in. You'll notice a theme as we go through. These are, at least for me, specific areas that I definitely lack in as a runner, that I don't focus enough time on, things that as runners we all know we should be doing, but with the demands of typical training cycles, getting ready for your next big race, etc., that usually we don't have time for. So now that a lot of us are left without a race to be training for, hopefully we can dedicate a little bit more time to these things. As we go into this list of things that you can be doing over the next few weeks to help improve yourself as a runner, I'm actually going to be releasing a series of videos with actual routines and things that you can be doing to improve those areas of your running that maybe you haven't focused on in the past. So that'll make more sense as we get more into the specifics throughout the video. But if you are interested in improving yourself as a runner, you're looking for some simple things that you can be doing today, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and make sure that you hit that notification bell so that every time a new video is released over the next couple weeks, you'll get that notification. Hopefully you enjoy it. My hope is that as I'm learning through this quarantine, through these stay-at-home orders, I can part some of that knowledge onto you or give some of that over onto you to hopefully improve you as a runner as well. And again, it's just ways for us to join and connect, because I know we're all, at least if you're like me, seeking some more ways to connect with one another while we're all stuck at home. The first thing that I want to focus on, and actually what's going to be the first focus of some of these videos that I'm going to be releasing, is flexibility. That is by far probably the number one thing that I slack off on during normal training cycles, with just so much going on, especially during peak training. When I'm preparing for a big race, I'm exhausted after my runs. Usually I might be in a rush to get to work. I just feel like I don't have the time or don't have the energy to truly dedicate to stretching, to flexibility. And so that's something that I've really been trying to improve on, especially now that I have a lot more time on my hands. I'm really focusing some of the work that I'm doing day to day on improving flexibility and mobility in some of those muscles that we lack during those training cycles. So hopefully, like I said, if you are interested, if you're like me and really ignore stretching during your regular training intervals, definitely stay tuned for future videos. I'm going to be focusing on some of those key muscle groups that we definitely ignore, and giving you some easy ways that you can work on opening those up, working on improving your flexibility in those areas. Things like glutes, hip flexors, hamstrings, etc., to hopefully help you prevent future injury. Along with flexibility comes strength training, probably the number 2 thing that I ignore or don't dedicate nearly enough time to during peak training times. Again, especially when you're in peak training for a big race and your legs are already so fatigued from the high mileage, it can be super hard to convince yourself to get through a tough training or tough strength training exercise. But truth be told, there are some really simple ways that you can just do little body weight exercises, little things here and there to just improve the strength of some of those stability muscles, some of those muscles that you need to kind of keep your form tight, keep your form engaged through those longer endurance races. I know that's especially important as you get into like the half marathon distance especially, and I learned the lesson the hard way during the ultra marathon, just making sure that you are focusing on strengthening some of those muscles that you need to make sure you're maintaining good form, and trying to tamper down fatigue towards those last few miles of a long race. So again, another series of videos I'll hopefully be releasing over the next couple weeks, focusing on some of those muscle groups that we all know are so important, like your core, and core, not just talking about abs, but talking about your abs, your quads, your hips, your glutes, etc. All of those muscles that we use to kind of keep our core engaged throughout a run, keep ourselves running nice and upright, and trying to go over some simple ways that you can make sure that you are giving those muscle groups the strength that they need to help you along the way in your future races. A third thing you might consider working on, because this is something I know we've all heard is recommended, but none of us really focus any time on, is cross training. I know me personally, I have the Peloton bike. I've been using it a little bit. I tend to use it more after a race when maybe my legs aren't ready for the punishment of pounding the pavement on a long run. But I do know that I want to keep up that endurance and get some cardio in. I'll opt to ride the Peloton instead so I can get in some no impact or low impact training. But I also know that this can be really helpful during training as well. I wrote a post, I think a while ago, just about how cross training can help so much in improving your endurance without risk of overloading your muscles with something high impact as running, and basically giving yourself a chance to do an exercise that's going to use different muscle groups that are still important during running, but using them in a different way so that you're not just kind of pounding the same muscle groups with the same motions over and over again like you are with running. So biking is my personal favorite. I've been trying to spend more time on the bike since quarantine started. Rode 108 miles this past Saturday as part of a fundraiser on the stationary. I would not recommend that if you have no experience with cross training already. That was definitely a brutal challenge, a brutal experiment. But maybe dedicating just one day a week. Maybe it's a rest day or a day when you're supposed to have just kind of a recovery run. Maybe swapping that out for a low impact kind of casual cross training session instead. So again, like I said, you can continue to improve your endurance, improve how you're able to perform as a runner without actually really destroying your muscles even more with that pounding the pavement, that running motion that you already are doing so much of. Number 4 sort of ties into the first two with improving your flexibility, your stretching, and improving your strength, but that is really spending some time to focus on little things that you can do to improve your form. And this is an area that I am just starting to learn more about, and I'm just starting to pay some more attention to. I think I've really gotten to a point where I've improved myself as a runner a lot, improved my speed as a lot, improved my training a lot, but I am definitely aware that there are still little things that I can be doing to improve my form, and so I've been spending a lot of time over the last few weeks just doing some research in terms of little things that I can try to pay attention to during my day-to-day runs to try to focus on improving, to just make little tweaks to my form to make myself more efficient as a runner. I'm not talking about totally overhauling your form. I think that can take a lot of work and can sometimes cause more harm than good, but what I'm talking about is little things that you can pay attention to each day. So a perfect example for me, or one thing that I started working on early on with my coach, was improving my cadence. And so trying to increase my cadence to that recommended 180 steps per minute if you can get there. That was something very simple that I could focus on. I'd go out on a run with no music. I've recommended metronomes in the past to use to help hit that cadence, but basically just going out on a run with the focus in mind of hitting that 180 steps per minute, not worrying about my pace necessarily, not worrying about anything else, just trying to get comfortable or understand what it feels like to run at that specific cadence. Other things that you can focus on, or little things that you can look at, is how are you swinging your arms? How are you holding your arms? Do you have a habit of crossing your body? Are your arms too extended? Are you clenching your fists? Well, maybe during your next run, you can focus on relaxing those fists, keeping your arms down at your side and not running your arms across your body as you're running. Little things like that, that's what I'm talking about, is these simple things that we know we should be doing, but maybe haven't focused any real attention on. Maybe the next time you go out for a run, leave the headphones at home and just spend some time focusing on those little aspects of your form that you know you should be thinking about or know you should be improving, but just haven't had the time to do so over the last couple months, years, however long it's been. And of course, last but not least, is a topic that I love to harp on, love to focus on, and I think is especially important during this quarantine time, now that days don't exist, time doesn't exist, we're all kind of stuck in this world of ambiguity, and that is spending some real time dedicating focus to your sleeping habits. I know this is not necessarily running specific, but I cannot stress enough how essential a solid sleep routine is to effective and improved running. And along with that, I'll tie it in. The last one will be a twofer, but improving your sleeping routine and maybe trying out a morning routine, moving your runs to your mornings if that's something that you've been avoiding. I think we've all been gifted, hopefully, a little bit of extra time on our hands, if for nothing else than the fact that, like for me, I no longer have to commute in the morning. That's an hour of my morning that I'm getting back. And rather than maybe sleeping in an extra hour, waking up at the same time that I did every day, but now I just have more time to dedicate to that morning routine and that morning run. But even if you don't necessarily want to switch to morning running, that's fine, but I would spend some serious time considering, are your sleeping habits healthy? Are they where they should be? Are you going to sleep at the right time? Are you waking up at the right time? What are you doing right before you going to bed? Are you eating a snack? Are you having some beers, etc.? What things can you take away or add to your sleep routine to make sure that you're improving your overall health? It will give you so much more energy the next day, and overall just improve your general cycles as a human, to just be more effective, more healthy, hopefully help with that injury prevention as well. Again, I know it's not running specific, but really spend some time thinking about your sleeping habits and make a plan to dedicate maybe the next week to just focusing on establishing a healthy sleeping routine or trying out a new sleeping routine. See how it works. If the first week goes great, maybe adding a second week, etc. I just can't stress how important sleep is. You've heard me talk about it a bunch, so I don't want to harp on it too much, but really think about it. I think especially now with quarantine and everything, I've heard a lot of people saying they're staying up later, they're sleeping later, they're having trouble getting to sleep at night. So if that's the case, what are some things that you can be doing now to try to improve that? What are some things you can be adding to your routine at night to help you get to sleep so that you're not staying awake all night looking at your phone trying to fall asleep, suffering from those that insomnia and things like that? What can you be doing to improve that sleep? You will thank yourself so much if you end these stay-at-home orders going back to work with a pre-established, more healthy, more sustainable sleep routine, and you will definitely see the benefits pay off in your running routine. So there you have it. Very quick, but just 5 things that you can be focusing on when maybe you don't have as strict of a training schedule as you're looking for or as you're used to. Here are some things that you can be adding into your day-to-day life to give some more purpose, some more stability, some more structure to your training and your daily routines. Like I said, I'm going to be coming out with a video series over the next few weeks, hopefully at least 1 video a week, maybe more than that if I can manage it. But make sure if that's something that you're interested in, that you're hitting that subscribe button below, you're clicking on that notification bell so you get the notification every time one of those videos comes out. But what I'm going to be focusing on is maybe like a quick 5-10 minute stretching routine that you can add into your day. What I want to do is focus on specific muscle groups. So having a video coming out focused on things that you can be doing to open up your hip flexors, things that you can be doing to loosen up your glutes. What can you be doing to support your IT band, the dreaded IT band I know we all have learned about when we push a little bit too hard on a race and don't pay enough attention to flexibility and strength training. And speaking of strength training, coming out with showing you just like some quick routines that you can do 5-10 minutes in the morning to improve your core strength, things that you can be doing to work on your glutes, working on strengthening those quads, just little things that you can be doing every day, not completely overhauling your routines, but things that hopefully you'll start thinking about so that you can start working them in. Hey, maybe this morning, instead of just sitting on the couch watching the news, while I'm watching the morning news, I'm going to be doing some couch stretches, which is something that I'll talk about in hopefully the first installment of these video series. But like I said, just hoping to help you. I know it's been helping me certainly to establish and improve myself as a runner, and looking forward to seeing how it pays off once I'm out of this quarantine, but hoping that I can impart some of that knowledge onto you and help you as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know below if there's some things that you've started adding into your routine already, or things that you're doing as a runner in quarantine to keep yourself motivated. I am definitely always looking for advice, but as always, congratulations on making it through another week. I think now's more important than ever to celebrate the start of the weekend. So congratulations, happy Friday, and have a great weekend. Cheers.